serious. There is God. There is God in everything we are doing. Those bloods that are sharing in Bronu will answer. What of two teachers, what of two teachers that can tell us that they conducted that exam? Do you come with any? Principal? No, too. You waka come. Okay. Now the first lady is calling you, come, I want to help you. Come to find your child, your missing child. Will you keep quiet? No. Child, there is God, oh. There is God, oh. The bloods we are sharing, there is God, oh. There is God, oh. There is God, oh. There is God, oh. There is God, oh.
You watched that video, right? Can you remember the scenario? Can you remember what happened that led to that cry? Just in case you have a short memory, let me remind you. That was Mrs. Patience Jonathan when she was the first lady, when Mr. Jonathan was still the president of Nigeria. That happened in 2014, 11 years ago, when the Chibok school girls were captured by Boko Haram. Mrs. Jonathan cried out when it happened. So that cry was a cry of pain, a cry of agony, a cry for help. You know, when you are in a helpless situation and the only person you can look up to is God. That was what brought about that cry. There is God, oh, there is God, oh. Mind you, what is happening now is worse than what was happening then. But any little thing, Mrs. Jonathan would cry out. Nigerians were making jest of her, that she wasn't fluent enough. Her English wasn't polished. They were making jest of her, that her sentences were not correct. But she was expressing her pain as a mother in her own way. She was concerned about Nigerians. This is one woman who has the feelings of Nigerians at heart. One woman who has the interests of Nigerians at heart. Nigerians took this woman for granted. They never valued her. When you hear there is God, oh, people will start laughing. They didn't know the pain she was going through. They didn't know that that was the best way she could express how she was feeling. I am telling you, what is happening now is worse than what was happening then. It was only happening in a few states, selected states, northern states. And when it is happening like this, you will see the people who have families, the southerners, the easterners who were living in the north. Some of them will start relocating back home for safety. You would see people calling their loved ones. When are you coming? Please leave that place. It is no longer safe there. Come back home. And you would see people relocating back to the south, the east, and the west. My brothers and sisters, today, this thing is happening everywhere in Nigeria. Nowhere is safe. It is happening in the east, west, north, and south. It is happening everywhere. Nowhere is safe. When I see comedians using this sound, anytime I come across a video in which this sound, there is God, oh, there is God, oh, in which this sound is used, it brings back sad memories. It reminds me of those days when Mrs. Jonathan would be crying on national TV. She would be crying on national TV, and some useless and unreasonable Nigerians were making jest of her because it did not happen to them. They were not affected. Now the sound is making more sense. You see this cry? It is making more sense now to some people. Anytime I come across a comedy in which this sound is used, immediately my mood changes. Immediately, because It takes me back. It takes me back to those sad days when Mrs. Jonathan was running helter-skelter looking for help. When Boko Haram just started, when they just started operation. Now we have bandits, we have terrorists, we have Fulani headsmen, we have unknown gunmen, we have the Muslim religion extremists. We have ISWAP. There are so many now. There are so many. Then it was just a particular group, Boko Haram. But now there are so many. Mrs. Patience Jonathan was not ashamed. She was not ashamed to cry before the whole world. She was not ashamed to cry on national TV. She was not ashamed to express her pain. She was not ashamed to cry for safety, to cry for help. But today, when anything happens, it is only speech we hear. Speeches that are written by ChatGPT, by AI. That is what we listen to. Those are the speeches we read from people who call themselves leaders. People who are supposed to be the first citizens of Nigeria. The highest they would do is to release a statement, press release. That is what we see today. But when Mrs. Jonathan was crying 11 years ago, any little thing, she would cry out. Any little thing, she is on TV. People were making jest of her. Some people were listening to pick out the mistakes in her English. They were making jest of her that her English wasn't polished. Now, the people who are ruling you, yes, they are ruling. They are not leading. They are ruling you. They can speak fluently. Their English is very polished. How many times do you hear them speak to you? How many times do they address you? Sometimes it takes the intervention of foreign media for the president of Nigeria, Mr. Tinubu, to open his mouth and talk, to open his mouth and address Nigerians. Now, we are not even talking about what he has to say, because most of the time, he sounds so insensitive in his speeches. So I would not even go into that aspect, because that one is another story on its own. Something would happen in Nigeria and we will be begging to hear the president's voice. We would be begging to hear someone speak to us. Is it not a shame? And yes, what happened 11 years ago when school students, female students, were kidnapped by Boko Haram, Chibok girls were kidnapped, has happened again in Kebbi State. It happened again, and over 25 female students were kidnapped. They are currently in captivity. As we speak, they are in the den of their kidnappers. Those are people's children. Those are people's daughters, people's loved ones. And someone would open their mouth to say that it is a made-up story or it is a script. They are acting a script just so that Donald Trump would see a reason to come to Nigeria. Some people are opening their mouth to say that Tinubu's enemies are behind this. They are behind this because they want Donald Trump to come to Nigeria by all means. Are you mad? Are you crazy? Do you know what you are saying? These are people's children we are talking about. Is it because your own is not among them? Or is it because your own goes to school and comes back on a daily basis? Oh, okay. You want to experience it, right? Don't worry. It would get to your turn. Since you don't believe it, it would get to your turn. By the time it happens to you, you would know how it feels like for you to be in the house and your child who went to school never came back. We should stop being insensitive when things like this happen. Even if it does not affect you, the least you can do is to show empathy. The least we can do is to speak out, lend our voice, so that the victims would be consoled, so that the victims would know that they are not alone. And by the time I am speaking against it, you are speaking against it, and everyone is speaking against it, there is no way our voice would not be heard. Let's stop making jest of everything. Everything is not a joke. Everything is not a joke. It is not about political party. Even you who is supporting APC, you are not safe. You who is still defending the Nigerian government, the Tinubu APC-led government, you are not safe. When this thing was happening in few states, as at 2014, we thought we were safe. We thought we were safe. And we were relaxed. After all, it is the north. This is south. After all, it is the north. This is west. This is east. But now it is happening everywhere. Nowhere is safe. And you still think it is a joke? Until it happens in your family? Until your parents go out and they don't come back? Until your child goes out and never comes back? Is that when you would believe? Are you wishing it happens to you? Is that what you are wishing upon yourself? Because that is what it is looking like. All you supporters of this wicked APC government, do you want this evil to befall you before you believe? Is that what you want? I saw in one comment section, somebody said, for something good to come, we have to make a sacrifice. Have we not made enough sacrifice? Have Nigerians not died enough? Is it not okay? Do you know how many people have died only in this month of November? And you are talking about sacrifice? You want your children to be victims, or you want to be a victim before you would know that we have sacrificed enough souls for peace? For crying out loud, we are not fighting a war. There is no ongoing war in Nigeria, and people are dying on a daily basis. You are opening your dirty mouth to talk about sacrifice. And when I opened the profile picture of the person, it was a lady. It was a lady speaking. In a bid to defend Tinubu, you people forget that these are human beings we are talking about here. You have sold your conscience that even when human lives are involved, it does not affect you anymore. You are not moved. Killing has become a normal thing in Nigeria, that the government is not nonchalant about it, and they have passed that nonchalant attitude down to some citizens. They have passed it down to some citizens. And if well-meaning Nigerians are raising concern, you see these heartless people defending the government. You see these heartless people in the comments making insensitive statements. Oh, I wish it would happen to you. I wish it would happen to you so that that thing you called scripted would become real in your life. It would become real in your family. And then you would understand the pain of your fellow Nigerians. Please, the government should do something. The government should do something about these missing children. President Tinubu, with all due respect, if you think this thing is overwhelming, it is no longer within your power. Please step down. After all, history has already recorded you as one of Nigeria's presidents. Please step down because the killing is too much. The kidnapping is too much. The pain is too much. Please step down. Politics is not supposed to be a do or die thing. You are not supposed to be a ruler or a leader at the detriment of people's lives. Please step down. I don't know the point you are trying to prove. It is obvious that you cannot handle this situation. For Nigerians to be wishing and praying for the US government to intervene in the killings and kidnapping in Nigeria, it means everything is wrong. Since you can no longer handle this, then you have to step down. You have tried. I don't know the point you are trying to prove. I don't know. At the detriment of people's lives. These people could be your children. They could be your grandchildren. These girls that were captured could be your daughters. They could be your granddaughters. Please, listen to the cry of Nigerians. We are tired. We are tired.